Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be looking at Ethereum. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Primarily what we're still looking for is that potential that we have this as a bigger A, B and a C pattern. Looking for this potential to come back down here, lower into this zone of the support box here. Looking potentially towards this 1712 to this 1506 as a possible zone of a retracement. Looking for this possibility that we are extending to the upside. Now, given the current structure here, we can see that we could potentially be in this C wave, but it would look like it is not completed if that is the case. So we're going to go over this internal count here. What we need to be aware of is there is also an additional count where we could actually look at this as an A, a B, and then we're actually looking for a C wave to the upside as a expanding flat, which could actually look to take us into this zone of this 2064 to this 1972. So I say it expanding flat, but it could also be that we get a single 5-wave move to the upside, which fails to actually take this wave high here, and it could actually still be a running flat. So we're going to discuss those different options now. So we're going to talk about this C wave. So if we are within a C wave, given the current structure, the only way that I can see that it would make any sense would be that we were forming some kind of an expanding diagonal. Now, if this is the case, what we would want to see here within this count is basically something like this. Now, I don't think that this is completed, and what we need to see for confirmation of this is actually an additional push up past this wave 1 high. So we'd be treating this as A, B, C for wave 1, 2, 3, and then looking for this as a fourth and then a fifth. Now, it is possible that this could look to invalidate, and that would actually come by crossing back above this wave 2, which would be here at this 1932. So because of that reason, I'm just being cautious with this. If we do start to push up too high here, it would probably mean that the other count is in play. So the way that I'm currently treating it, this is that we have this as A into this high here, looking for a B wave and then the C wave to the upside again. So that 1-to-1 would actually look to bring us up towards this 1892. 0.786 would actually be here towards this 1868. So if we fail to actually break down from this point, it would be more likely that we are seeing this actually play out as it is here. Now, the key thing here is we need to actually get one more push to the upside here to actually cross this wave 1. Either that or, we're going to have to reevaluate how exactly we're counting this, because it wouldn't make any other sense the way I'm currently looking at it. The only way that this would make more sense if we do actually directly break down is if we are getting an extension within the waves. So what would that look like? So this is what we need to be careful of here. If we start to break down too deep, what we could see is that we actually reach the 1.618, which would be this 1559. Now this 1618 would be basically off of this A wave here, where this becomes AB, and we could actually have this as 1-2. So if we push down towards this 1559, basically we need to be aware that this could then mean that we are actually forming a bigger impulse. Now, how would this look in the shorter term? So the way I'd be currently looking at this is the possibility that we could have this as a 1 and a 2. Now, given the current structure, technically speaking, it would still be possible for us to come up one more time here, and we could adjust this structure slightly where we look at this as W, this is X, and then we're looking for a Y wave to the upside, in which case the target zone we'd be looking for would actually be towards this 1863 as a 1-to-1. So if we do get an additional push to the upside here, where we get this move either playing out in a 5-wave sequence or a 3-wave sequence, I'd be looking for a 5-wave move, to be honest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In which case, this could actually look to bring us back into this yellow box area towards this 0786, which would be this 1854, or alternatively higher up here towards this 0854, which would be in line with this 1865. So going to keep an eye on this. If we do actually move up higher here, this could actually mean that we are still within this yellow wave 2. Invalidation comes by crossing this 1887. However, it is possible that this wave 2 could complete here, in which case we could have formed 1-2, and possibly even forming another 1-2 here before we look to break down in a bigger way. So what we need to be cautious of within that count would be looking for the potential that we have something like this actually playing out, where we're looking for a deeper move to the downside here, looking for this 1618, which is sitting here towards this zone of the 1756. So at the moment, all we've done is come down in 3 waves, A, B, and C. So we need to be cautious, because this could actually be a completed correction, in which case we look to push up and invalidate this by moving above this high. But as long as we remain below this, what I'll be looking out for here is that whether this is an additional 5-wave sequence, which is now completed, and we could actually see a move to the upside. Now, that move to the upside typically would look to reject between this 1810 to this 1825, and this would be looking for the potential that we have another 1-2 here, and then we'd be looking to actually break down deeper. So if we do break down directly, the zone we're looking for is this 1756. If, however, we look at this as an additional 1-2, this would push this primary third wave deeper, because what we'd have here is an additional 1-2, which if we went into that 61.8, which is sitting here at this 1816, that would mean that the secondary third wave would have to come down 1, 2, 3, all the way down to this 1618 here, 4, and then 5. And that would mean that this third wave over here is effectively moved into this position, which would mean that we're extending out to the downside. Now, if we do get a move like this to the downside, where we actually form just a direct move as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down into these lows again, what I would be looking out for is actually looking for this possibility of getting a bigger wave 2 here, where this becomes 1, 2, and then basically we're looking to break down in a bigger way for this move. So really, until this bearish scenario invalidates, we need to be cautious, because this could be setting us up for a bigger 5-wave drop, which could actually look to push us down as deep as this zone here. So I'm just going to throw this fib on here for a typical 5th wave area that we look for. So that could actually look to push us down towards this 1627. Now, if we push down towards the 1627, what this means is this would actually push us down into the zone where this yellow count comes into play as an additional 1, 2, because that 1.618 is here at this 1607. So we need to be cautious that if we do break down here in this way and we actually get a 1618 move, this could actually trigger this this continuation here, where we would complete this purple count here, then we'd get an additional 4th and a 5th for the yellow count, which would then look to actually push us down towards this zone of this 1559 to this 1526, in which case we'd have to look out for the blue count here as an additional 4th and a 5th, and then the darker blue with an additional 4th and a 5th. Now, once again, if we start to extend out like this, this puts us right in the zone for the possibility that actually this is 1, 2 here, and we're already within that bigger third wave. So we need to be careful of that fact, because that would not be a bullish sign if we do see this move actually play out as it is indicated here. Now, the other thing we were discussing is the possibility that possibly, this move could also just be not completed its B wave. So with that in mind, what we were talking about is the possibility that this is an A wave to the upside, this is a B wave to the downside, and we could be looking for this C wave to the upside here. Now, we were discussing a couple of things yesterday, looking at the possibility that there could be a 1, 2 here, and then we're looking to push to the upside and another 1, 2, but we actually came and took this low, which was sitting here at this 1785. Because we took this low here, we can't count this as an additional 1, 2 anymore. So the way that I'm looking at this is that potentially within the structure here, we can argue that we have something rather like this. So I'll go over the ones that we were discussing and show you them. So we're looking for this possibility of a 1, 2, 1, 2 like this, but that's now invalidated. The other way we're looking at it was the possibility that we're setting up a series of 1s and 2s, but once again, we've crossed this low. So, technically speaking, we could argue that this is W, X, and Y, and that this would remain alive, but the problem is, it would make more sense then that this was W, this is an X wave, and then we're going to get a 3-wave move to the upside. And that would tie into that idea that we could actually still be in with wave 2 from here, 1, 2, and then we're looking to break down. Now, if we take this high, that invalidates this bearish scenario. The way that I'm looking at it currently is that if we are going to break to the upside, the way it would have to be is something like this, where we're treating this move here as basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as a diagonal, in which case we're looking for this wave 2 position. Now, invalidation of this would come by actually crossing this low, which is sitting here at this 1740. If we remain above that and we maintain this 1762 area, what we can actually see here is that potential for a move to the upside. Now, once again, this could also just be a 3-wave move, so we need to be aware of that fact that this could just be A, B, and C, and that would fit into that diagonal count where we're actually looking to come back into the region of this wave 1. Alternatively, what we could see here is that this could become 1, 2, then we see a bigger 5-wave structure to the upside here, looking for this 1963 as a wave 3. If we do get this push up into this area, that would then mean that we have the potential for a fourth wave drop and a fifth wave again to the upside here. So that fifth wave to the upside could potentially look to push us up towards this zone here of this 2010 to this 1981. Now we have also discussed the potential that if this is rather going to be something like a running flat where this is A, B, and we're getting the C wave up here, what this could mean is that we actually look to target out this 1-to-1, which is this orange 1967. 1967 would bring us back into this 1-to-1 area. It would also bring us into quite an interesting zone because we do have a value area high that's sitting within here within the range. So it would be interesting to see if we get a reaction to the upside here. And if we do get up into these zones, whether we actually reject from this point and we get something like a truncation in this fifth wave where we look to push up and we don't quite reach this higher target. However, if it does look to push up higher, then we have some key ranges that I'm looking at. So this top end of the red box here, this 2025 to this 2123 would be a expanding flat typical area that it looks to target out. Some of these zones also tie in with some fib levels based off of the retracement. So this would be a 0.786, this yellow is 2061, which ties in with that 1382. And then lower down here, we have a little bit of confluence between this 702 area and this 1.236. So if we do start to move up in a bigger way here, I would be on the lookout for this possibility of having a flat correction still. It would make sense in the sense that the structure down is not great as a C wave, but we'll have to actually see how this plays out and see whether we get a 5-wave move to the upside here. So if we just get a single 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, if we want to argue that we have a potential low in place here, what we would then want to see is a 3-wave move to the downside, which maintains this low, and then looking to progress again up in a bigger 5-wave structure. We don't have confirmation of this yet, but really for as long as we hold this low here of this 1740, we can't really rule it out. But in the same text, as long as we hold below this high here of this 1837, we need to be aware of that direct sell-off potential where we could start to break down in a much bigger way here. So we're going to have to just give it a bit of space and see how that plays out. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. See you in the next one. Take care.